Well, today is the 20th of February 2023, and here's an interesting little map showing the countries that are mentioned in the Bible in relation to other surrounding regions. And this leads on to a subject where I've mentioned this in the past, and I don't want to offend or upset anybody who's a Christian. I'm a Christian myself, but it's a danger to be such a fundamentalist that you believe every single word you read in the Bible. It just doesn't work out. And things such as Noah and the ark demonstrate that to be the truth. Now, if that all happened at all, and I've discussed this, of course, with various people, including our pastor at church, it's largely it's a case of giving a moral, shall we say, lesson, a parable, in other words. But if Noah did in fact exist and build an ark and so on, and I'm not criticising or denying that it happened at all, if so, then it would only have been to this region where it is alleged that it came to rest and has never been allowed to be examined, at Mount Ararat in Turkey. Now, Turkey, of course, is mentioned. It's called Asia, but it's Turkey. And, of course, places to modern-day Iraq and Saudi Arabia, Italy today, and other places that are called where the Romans occupied that, of course. But the point is, it was never a worldwide flood. It was their world. In other words, the biblical world might have been flooded, but the entire world wasn't. And also, it can be shown quite easily that all of the world's animals could never have been, and don't forget, it's not just animals. The flood was said to have lasted 5 months, which is something I only just found out last Sunday, by the way. So therefore there had to be enough food and water for the animals and humans. There's only Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and daughters-in-law on board. Enough water and food to sustain them for 5 months, and how were they to know at the time how long it was going to take anyway? But that's all was available. Now, the pastor said no ventilation. That's not true, because ventilation has to be provided, otherwise everyone dies. In other words, holes in the roof, ventilators in the roof to allow the air in, of course. And other evidence to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was not the world is that there are no bones of kangaroos or wallabies or any other animals from this distant part of the world having been to the Middle East to go onto the ark in the first place. Otherwise you'd find skeletons of kangaroos in the Middle East. So the world was only, as I just said, the area as shown in this map. Otherwise, taking it literally to be a problem. Now, I can include a very well-made very short documentary that basically demolishes the Ark story, but only because of the literal understanding of that story, or someone saying that's what it said, the whole world. Well, it wasn't the world. That can be demolished in no time. But don't forget, today, we understand with today's knowledge, there's 4 billion species of animals, birds, fish, and plants and insects in the world, which of course could never have gone onto a boat. 5 months covered means all life, except the sea life, would be destroyed in that time. Would have to come back from after the flood. Where did they get their food from? Where did they get their animal and plant food from to continue their civilization? How did 3 couples produce people, and I've discussed this with the pastor as well, who ended up in Africa and Australia and China, in India, Japan, wherever else you like to mention. Those races are all quite different from each other. So it's a stretch of the imagination to say that 3 couples could produce all of that. We've got to be very, very careful with the Bible and taking it literally. It doesn't mean that the basic truth is not there, and that the stories are of great value to people to this day. Also, I accept God and I accept Jesus as Lord and Saviour, but I do not take the Bible literally. Therefore, I do not call myself a fundamentalist Christian. I welcome any comment, or as long as it's civil and polite, and also discussion on the matter.